Hey, let's see here. Good evening. Welcome to the live bonus session on a Thursday. It's going to be a good one. Stay tuned. We're going to look at the indices, the way they need to be looked at. It's pretty important. Crazy day, right? But we had it set properly. We're also going to look at maybe warning on a couple of things and some opportunities. All right, so first things first, though, I would like to announce for the members something pretty exciting. We're going to have a webinar for the members of Simple Stock. Anybody can attend, and the goal of that is to get you familiar with the resources that we already have. There's a ton in there, and I don't think enough people are looking through all of it. There's plenty. There's AI alerts in the Discord, for example. And there are write-ups in the morning and in the afternoon, and Sunday videos, strategy videos, just hundreds of tickers reviewed. There's a ton of stuff to look at. It's worth spending some time with you. Next Wednesday, book it, 9 p.m. I will give you a place where you can go and register for it. We're going to send a link to where it's going to be, and it's going to be by invitation. So if you put yourself on the list, you'll get the invitation. Don't miss it if you're a member. And if you're not a member, don't miss it either, because you're going to learn why we're successful. You can ask them today who nailed the price action. As messy as it was, we handled that dip today. So don't miss it. Next Wednesday, that's the 18th, I believe, 9 p.m. It's on the form. The form is simple. Just tell me who you are, what your email is, if you're a member or not, and we'll get together next Wednesday and answer some questions. There will be Q&A. I will show you the tools, and this way you can get to using it. It's not just for the members of Simple Stocks, but definitely the members. It's almost mandatory. Don't miss it out. Don't miss out on it. Okay, so jumping on to the what we have going on with the charts. So I'll shrink myself and make the charts bigger. We will start by looking at the ES. The king of stocks. I'm not going to call him you know what, Lenis. Okay, so here's what we have. We have the price action unfolding along the lines we told it to. So where's the surprise? Nowhere. It seems like it's going all over the place, but this is a natural price path. Pop, drop, stabilize, see if you can make progress before you can make regress. Okay, so that's the big picture. On the daily, we are not surprised. If we go down to the 2 hours, we can start seeing some areas of opportunity and challenges. We have sellers above, an abundance of sellers. If we cross anywhere between 44.80 and 45.20, look at it. Volume profile shows a lot of sellers. There's kind of a vacuum area between these two white lines, which is, let's call it 44, the high from today, the overnight high, 44.30. And before we fell apart on September 20th, which is 44.80. So there's kind of a vacuum in volume. So it could be an opportunity to take out today's highs, and it could be an easy slide straight up to 4,500 and then deal with that abundance of sellers up there. Now, conversely, we have buyers below. Big Daddy, yes, you know what it is. Okay, so there are some buyers below. Let's say we slip another day. So somebody today, I kid you not, I got a call, say, oh my gosh, what's going on? I was like, what's going on? We get back the wins from yesterday. Oh yeah, that's right. Literally, that's what happened today after the market closed. All right, Ali, if you're watching. Okay, so we do have buyers, and they start from basically 43, 44 and lower. There's a bunch of them. All right, let me see if I can drill down a little bit lower to show you. But the volume profile shows quite a few buyers ready to jump in. The levels will show that today's fall was pretty violent if you were watching it, and they bounced hard off of 43.55. Now, we know that 43.35 has been on the radar for a long time. And, of course, the 42.35, 42.36 down here. So this is the ES. There's no mystery. It's doing its thing. I think they need to fill this. So maybe we pop tomorrow. It's going to be a challenge because we have the bank earnings, a couple of the banks reporting JP, Citigroup. Now, what they say is important because they could scare people into saying things about the run-up in the price of the long bond and the yield of the long bond. So that might bring, hey, Gerald, might bring some caution there. So keep an eye on it. So basically, we have an opportunity 50 points above within the 50 point and a support within the 30 points. So we're trading the range. That's what we're doing. Ping pong between the levels we just mentioned. If you're an active trader, join us. We're kicking ass in the live room. Okay, so here we go. On the NASDAQ, I'll slip back over to a daily first. The NASDAQ story is different. It hasn't even started breaking down, but that's what makes it dangerous. Now, if the NASDAQ loses footing at 14.6-ish, where I have my cursor right now, it could slip pretty quickly to revisit the May breakout. That is what I call the NVIDIA breakout. NVIDIA just took the market by storm and took everybody out to high heaven. And the opposite of the ES, there's no volume down here. So if we lose the level I just mentioned, it could be a fast strip down, straight down. It would be a viable dip because that's a pivotal zone that has been consolidated well. Now, without a new headline, I don't think that happens, okay? Today, Apple acted pretty strange. We're long. I might not be long after tomorrow. We'll see. I sold some covered calls. We're literally stuck between a rock and a hard place. There's so much volume above us with the NASDAQ that it will take a miracle to break out. But if it does break out, whoa, look out above. So what are we talking about? We could trigger a big breakout that could catch the bears unprepared because everybody's bearish on everything. So spark comes in and they'll be stupefied and they dig in a little deeper and then they get stopped out and then it's gone. First sign of improvement is 15,728. 15,728. I have my cursor there. If they take that out, they're going to face a lot of selling, but I think it'll be a wild burst that could overcome the 16,000. And I can't tell you what happens after that. Versus dropping into a huge amount of buyers. So we have support that starts from today's lows, of course, and much stronger around the 15,000 round numbers, give or take 20 with that guy. Now, if we lose the lows from the end of September, and to put a number on it, that's 14,583. We could cover that gap and then some. Probably rest somewhere in the May breakout zone from NVIDIA. So it doesn't look quite like a head and shoulders, but it has the spirit of one. And the opposite is true. It's consolidating. If it breaks out of the consolidation, she gone. So be careful with that one. Don't be too short and too cute with it. Now the desperation ticker. Anybody know what I'm going to put? Yes, the small caps. Now, if the NASDAQ hasn't started breaking down, the small caps cannot buy a bid for all that's worth. Okay, so here's the deal. Plenty of buyers right here, a little bit below and a little bit below that. And they're strong buyers. But if we lose that, we in theory, we could drop 15 to 20%. Yes, we have backup support, but then we're talking pandemic. So down to this level that we're at and lower. So 17, 15, 17, 12, 1705, you have hard buyers. Those are immediate buyers that are proven from the last few months. If they fail, we have backup buyers at 1650-ish, plus or minus $5. Those are proven from 2022 summer, which was also violent. Now, if we lose those, then we've gone past the pandemic drop. So it would overshoot. Yes, they overshoot. Now, personally, I would try to catch the falling knife if this happens in the worst case scenario in that node right there, which has huge volume. So anything below 1570 is very intriguing to me. So now let's get into the nitty gritty shorter term. The catalyst is today's high. The backup catalyst, so let's put a number on it, 1803. And then you have a seller at 1825-ish. But look in between. There's no volume. So I think it's a matter of ping pong with this guy. Slip up, burst, struggle, burst, and slip up. Yeah, there's no resistance inside areas. So be careful. That's why it's so dangerous to lose the lows that we just set on the 4th. Remember, 3rd, 4th, that was a violent drop. So it's important to keep those in mind, because they might panic and we could have a problem on our hand. So they can't afford any mistakes. Now, YM is the futures contract for the Dow, in case you don't know. It's kind of a mix of setups. So if you look at it, they could be, this bounce was perfect, maybe too perfect. They could be drawing a right shoulder to a head and shoulders, which could bring us down 3 to 7%. Now, why do I think this is a possibility? Look at all these red marks. So basically anything above 34,200 has seller written all over it. But like the NASDAQ, if they take them out, they're gone. So it's literally, the opportunity is for the bulls and the bears, whoever wants it more. So far, the bears haven't shown a lot of gumption. They only do work when they have headlines. So if they don't have headlines, then they're not doing anything. So basically, in the absence of headlines, the advantage is to the buyers, and we could just dribble higher. 35.4 is very important. I think there are sellers hiding at 34.50, 34.450, sorry. And of course, the immediate low is right here. We just placed it, 33,030. And harder buyers, seriously harder buyers at 32,640 and lower. And that's a zone. So I think if this breaks down, they would stop halfway. So that's like 3 to 5% maybe. Yeah, 4%. So the downside is somewhat limited without a new shoe to drop. What's a new shoe to drop? Something that's not in the news right now. A new rate hike is not one of those things. Okay. So let's jump into the one opportunity place where I said that there could be a warning sign for the crude oil. Whoops, I'm so used to doing that. Now, crude oil business is completely different, and I will wrap up with the crude oil. Let's see here. They had the mother of all headlines, right? War in the Middle East, unfortunate, sad events, and it's serious stuff, folks. Don't ignore it. Those are news that could change the world. Now, the breakdown is target 1 met, target 2 is a little bit lower. It's a mid to high 70s. Yes, it could go there. So here's the lines to watch: 81.60 versus 87.20. So resistance at 85.20 first, and then 87.20.30. Those are two hiccups for the bulls. And look at the neckline they lost at 88-ish. And the downside of that neckline was almost $6. And they met it almost exactly, maybe overshot a little bit. So now the must-hold levels are these two wicks, the lowest being 81.50. But the good thing is they have backup, strong, high point of volume, 2 of them. So they have support throughout. But let's say they bounce here again, and then they lose this support. Low 70s is doable. That's not my forecast, but it's doable. They have a ton of support, but it's doable. All right, so I think we pretty much covered everything quickly. And don't forget, I want to remind you before we go that we will have a get-together next Wednesday. Members of Simple Stocks, hop on, because we're going to show you what you're missing. I appreciate you. Such kind words. Hey, Trey. And non-members, everybody is welcome to join. We'll gab it up. You'll see what you're missing. We do good work. We plan the day every day. If you're an active trader, we got stuff for you. If you're a slowpoke like me, we have stuff for you there too. All right. So I promised you a short session. Let's take a couple questions. Give me a ticker or two if you have something you need help with. Let's do that. You took the time to get here. Oh, let me see. How many likes? 40 likes to 74 attendees, 101 views. We need more than that. If you like what you see, hit a like. If you want to debate back and forth, we do have the notes section open to all of you. NVIDIA, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm reading. Thoughts on WFC, JP Morgan. How about rhinos? We debate that tomorrow. It's not going to matter. They're going to all move binary tomorrow. You're welcome. Let's look at NVIDIA real quick. So NVIDIA has been super strong and defying the odds. This is not an obvious place of entry for me. The acronym is NOPE, which means don't short it. But if I'm considering to go long, I wouldn't do it here. A dip into 450, give or take a little bit, is buyable zone 1. If it by any chance gets to 435, 438, that's target 2 of that red thing you see. That would be buyable zone number 2. Don't forget, they're buying dips. Don't short it with conviction, okay? Regardless of what you think it is doing. The TLT, folks, I want to warn you, there's some huge things going on. So some people wanted to go long today, and 20 minutes later, it had dipped severely. It dropped from here to here. That is unheard of. This doesn't happen in real life, right? This is crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. So the idea is to strike and get away with it. So if you went long today with the TLT and tomorrow you wake up, you've got 10% profit, I would suggest I would take them. Every time I do that, I'm happier for it. One more ticker. I need something good. Dominion, while somebody gives me something else, I'll take a look at it. Stuck in the middle, you have a seller here, you have a buyer here, maybe a buyer at 40.85. So if you're looking to get long into support, that's not too bad. Tesla, of course. Who's this? Are you Mike? Okay. So this is the big picture in Tesla. Rinse and repeat. They're buying dips, right? Don't fight it. Don't fight it. They're buying dips. Let them buy the dips. So the next rally, you fade it, and the next dip, you buy it. It does have buyer below. And the hardest levels I see is 254, give or take 50 cents or a dollar. These are proven bounces. This is a proven fail. So split the two, you get that 254. That's on Tesla. So in the past 3 days, it looks super bullish and super bearish. Let's see who wins out that fight. If it's rinse and repeat, we should have a rally that fades. You're welcome. Ahlan, Paul. Sharafna Stez. Let's chat in the notes. Okay, that's it. We're out of time, folks. Hi, Larry. We will see you next time, which is next Tuesday. Same time, different place. YouTube, of course, but different place on YouTube. So subscribe to the webinar so we can send you the link. It's for next Wednesday. Slice out the time, 9 p.m. Hasta.